Hey everybody, Debbie Starr here. Wanted to hop on and share a bit of training and maybe best practices to help you as you're downloading all of these online courses and freebies and all of this stuff that you sign up for. You know, it's like trying to drink from this fire hose. We have all of these awesome things floating around, but how do you manage them? How do you save them? How do you keep track of them? All of that kind of stuff. So I have a spreadsheet that I think you're absolutely going to love, and I'm going to walk you through how I use it. And don't worry, it's not going to blow your mind too much. Even if you hate spreadsheets, all right? So let me just jump in here and talk about some organizational tips for you. First of all, I guess, let me just share. So here's something that I had been promoting recently, this Boost Your Business Bundle. And there's over 100 or over 200 goodies that you can download. And I have to say, absolutely blown away by all of the value that all of the contributors are giving here. So when you download it, it's like, oh my goodness, I want this and this and this and this. And then all of a sudden you're overwhelmed because where do you keep all the stuff? How do you remember what you have and all of that kind of stuff? Well, that's where this spreadsheet comes to the rescue. And I'm going to show you how you can use it. And before I do that though, down at the bottom here, there's another tab called General Notes. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, I guess, as far as I'm just going to make this a little bigger just so you can see it. Now, don't tell anybody my secrets, okay? So the first thing is, especially if you're downloading a lot of things, it seems like these giveaway bundles and summits and all of that kind of stuff are kind of the latest trend. So what I suggest is that you keep track of everything on the spreadsheet, all right? So that would be step number one. Step number two, what I recommend is that you create a subfolder on your computer. You can also do this up on Google Drive. I actually have it in both places, which I'll talk about in a minute, why one place or the other and all that kind of stuff. But basically on my hard drive, I have a folder, and that folder is just called Online Courses. All right, so online courses that I'm taking, whatever you want to name it. Then within that master folder, I have subfolders for all of the different courses or programs that I've signed up for. It could be free programs or paid, whatever it is. You could also have a folder there or separately for all of the freebies that you download. And we'll talk about freebies in a minute. All right, so that's step two. You use the spreadsheet. You also create a folder, subfolders for everything. All right. So, well, step 2 and 3. So then these subfolders, all of the courses that I've signed up on. All right. Then if I have like a whole list of things and I'm trying to figure out which goodies do I want, which one am I going to take advantage of first as far as the training and all of that kind of stuff, I go through and I prioritize. And I have an easy little system for you on that. And I'll talk about that. I'll show you how I do that in just a minute. Then step 5 is, and this might be something that we overlook, but in my world, if something is not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. It's not real. Okay. So if I want to buy out time for my ongoing training, I put it on my calendar. And you might want to block off 15 minutes every day, and that's your ongoing training slot. Or you may want to take 2 hours on a Friday, or maybe you prefer to do things in larger blocks of time. However you do it, come up with a plan so that it's just not left to whenever you get time, because we never get time, right? Because we're entrepreneurs, we're CEOs of our own business, and we are busy people. All right. And then step 6 here, and I'll demonstrate this in a minute also, is create a folder on your Google taskbar at the top and put these URLs in there. So everything is in one place. So when I sit down tomorrow morning and I want to spend 15 minutes on one of these goodie courses that I've just signed up for, I can just open that folder and go right there, and I'm good to go. All right. So again, I'm going to demonstrate all of this in just a minute, but I just wanted to talk about it. Now, the second thing is, let's talk about retention. Because we're trying to drink from such a big pond, such a big fire hose, how in the world do you remember all of this stuff? Well, you don't. So here's the deal. In the spreadsheet, there's a little place that you could just write a few little notes. You could write a couple paragraphs if you want. Back in the day, long time ago, when I used to attend conferences, and you'd go for like 3 days and you would have meetings from 8 in the morning till 9 at night. You'd have all these speakers, you'd meet people. I mean, you'd kind of really get overwhelmed by the time the conference was over. I was always looking for just 1 or 2 nuggets. If I could get one little nugget from that speaker, even though I sat in the chair for an hour, it was worth it. So as you're going through the different training modules, look for just one little nugget that might help you, or one little example that you want to refer to. That's all you need to put on there. And then later on, 6 months from now, when you can't even remember what you had for breakfast, you can look at this sheet and say, oh yeah, I remember. She had something really good about networking. Let me just dig into that. And if you're taking a course or in a program or whatever, and there's lots of juicy things that you're going to be implementing in your business, then open up a Google Doc or open up a Word document and keep all of your notes, and then store that in this subfolder that you've created. Just like all the PDFs and the workbooks and all of that kind of stuff, everything should be saved in these subfolders that you've created, so then everything's there. You could ask me 2 years from now about a particular course. I would know exactly where to go find the details and to be able to bring it up. All right. Then the other thing I was going to mention is about archiving. So if let's say you sign up for one of these bundles and you've got 20 or 30 little mini courses you're going to go through. Once you're done with that, then just move that whole folder into an archived folder. So at the root of my directory, I have online courses, then I have all my subfolders, but I also have another subfolder that's called archived courses. So when I'm done with this ABC course about networking, for instance, I can drag that into the archive, and I know it's there. I don't have to panic about losing something, but I don't have to look at it every day. So it kind of clears that mental clutter that we have. All right. Now, the last little secret, and lean in here as I tell you this. Whenever I sign up for things, usually on the opt-in form, there's a spot for name or first name and then your email, right? So the name that I use, I'll put like the first part of my name, Deb, D-E-B, but then the last part, I put the name of the course or the person, whatever it is that I'm signing up for. Because when you sign up for things, you will be put on their list. And unless you opt out, you'll be getting emails, nurturing emails. We all do that. That's how we bring people closer to us. But has this ever happened? You've been on somebody's list and you think, I have no idea how I even ended up on this person's list. Maybe you enjoy the content, but you just think, I don't even remember where I met them. So let's say you've opted in and you've snagged my productivity program course that I have. If I was signing up for that, my name would be Deb Productivity Course, or Deb PPE is the initials I use for that course. All right. Then in the future, any emails I get, I know exactly what course or why I'm on that list because of the name. So that's just kind of my little behind the scenes on getting you started when you're signing up for courses or freebies or anything else. All right. Now let's jump into the good stuff. If you're still with me, congratulations. It's not going to go too much longer. All right. So the second tab at the bottom is courses you've signed up for. Now, let me shrink this down just a little bit so we can see everything here. Now, again, don't panic. If spreadsheets are not your friend, don't worry about it. I'll explain everything. This particular spreadsheet, I kind of mirrored it off of the categories. In this giveaway here, the event organizer has organized things by these different categories. So when I created this spreadsheet, I have categories over here. So I have an example here. So I'm signing up for a course, and I'm making this up. This is not on the list. Social media in 5 minutes a day. So that's the name of the course. So in the category, I just find the category that makes the most sense to me. To me, maybe it's social media. It might be client attraction. You're the boss. You decide which category you want. Why do we even want categories? Well, there's all kinds of fancy things you can do with spreadsheets. You can sort, you can hide things based on category, all that kind of stuff. But for now, just give it a category, all right? Give it a name. And then once I log in, you'll fill out the form. Usually you'll get an email back with the login link and all of that kind of stuff. I will copy that link and put it right here, the login link, so that everything is on this spreadsheet. I can come back to it. I've always got it. All right. Then the next column where it says credentials are the passwords. Now, here's another little tip that I share with people. I have a very unique password that I use, and I modify the back end part of my password for every single site that I need a password for. Now, this is not a good example because I'm telling the world, so you may want to modify it just a little bit. But what I've done is I've taken the first initials of everything. So social media in 5 minutes a day, SM5MD, okay? And then I'm ending this year, I'm ending all of my passwords with the @2 for 22. All right, next year when I start signing on to things, it'll be @3. All right, not super creative, but again, a month from now, if I didn't have this sheet in front of me and I go to sign on to this course, this social media in 5 minutes a day, which I think is a great title. If you're into social media, you should snag this title. I know what the password is because I know what that pattern is that I've created. All right, is that making sense? Okay. Now, the next column here, training priority, this is a drop-down list, and it is, trying to think of the word now, I've lost it. Conditional formatting, that's what it is. And again, if spreadsheets aren't your friend, don't get too worked up about it. But notice how things are color-coded. The color coding works on whatever you choose. So now, meaning this is what I'm going to work on right now. If tomorrow morning I decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with social media till next month, if I click the drop down arrow, I'll just say next. I'll do it next. And now notice it turned to yellow. Or if I think I'll just do it sometime in the future, then it turns it to red, right? So is that cool or what? So as you get your whole list, you can look down the list, and again, there's ways of sorting and all of that kind of stuff, but for the newbies, we're just starting out basic here. I could scroll down this list and just look for the nows. Anything that's in green, that's what I'm going to work on. And then the other thing that I've given you a little checkbox. So once I've completed that course, I can just check it, and I know that I'm done with it. Okay, so if you're still with me here, the next column is just a notes column. I've set this up so it should wrap. So in other words, you could type a couple paragraphs on each one here. Again, the key for the notes is not to document everything that you learned, just 2 or 3 little nuggets. So when you come back in the future and you look at this spreadsheet, you'll see just a few little highlights, and you'll know, it'll bring it back to your mind. And again, if it's a course that's really juicy and you're just learning a lot from it, then open up that document and, create your book of notes from that. All right. Then the last thing here is if they're, the person who created the course or their website or their email, if there was a specific coupon code that I was supposed to use, all that kind of stuff, I just captured that information there. All right? So are you with me? Is all that making sense? Now, remember I had said about your freebies. We all download freebies. We learn from them. We also use them as kind of like style guides for our own stuff, right? So you might download somebody's workbook and you think, I absolutely love how they formatted this. Or I love the questions that they ask in this one. Or I love the color combination. Whatever it is, you could do the same thing that we've done here. Just create a new tab at the bottom. You might not need all the details as far as the login link and all of that kind of stuff, but you could just write some notes and, put notes as far as where you're saving those little tidbits and why you liked it. Why is it beneficial for you? Right? Is that making sense? All right. Let's see. Can I come back full screen? Okay. So hopefully that is, gives you some ideas. We love knowledge because we're entrepreneurs. We're constantly got our ear to the ground, checking out what's happening in the world and stuff. And we will continue to grow and learn and all of that kind of stuff. But the key is we want to do things in an organized way, create some systems around it so we can keep track of all this stuff and benefit from it. So if you happen to be watching this on my YouTube channel, then please make sure that you hit the subscribe button. I would love that. And regardless of where you're watching it, in the comments below, there should be a link so that you can grab this spreadsheet. And if you have questions, reach out to me. I would love to hear your observations. How are you using it? Do you have any tips that I haven't covered that you want to share with us? So as always, take care and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.